Eat walnuts? Avoid these 5 dangerous mistakes. Sounds like a warning, doesn't it? Because you, me, and millions of Americans truly believe walnuts are a superfood, packed with omega-3s, antioxidants, and brain-boosting power. But here's the truth. When you eat them the wrong way, you can actually erase the very benefits you're hoping for. Sounds hard to believe? Well, many older adults across America are unknowingly making small mistakes that quietly harm their heart, their brain, and even their digestion, all because they're eating this so-called healthy nut at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, or in the wrong combination. You see, health channels everywhere call walnuts the king of nuts. And sure, they deserve the crown. But what nobody talks about is the dark side of this tiny nut. 1 in 3 Americans over 60 eats walnuts at least once a week, yet many still struggle with high cholesterol, joint inflammation, or poor sleep. So what's really going on here? Could it be that we've misunderstood how to eat walnuts properly? Or are there hidden facts that no one's telling you? Things that could completely change how you look at this food. Here's the thing. Like most superfoods, walnuts can be your best friend or your silent enemy. It all depends on how you use them. Just like medicine, the right dose heals you, but the wrong one? It can do the opposite. A Harvard study in 2017 found that people who ate walnuts correctly lowered their risk of heart-related death by 19%. But in the same research, those who ate too much or combined them poorly actually triggered higher inflammation and digestive stress. No one tells you this, but the how you store, mix, and eat walnuts, is what really determines whether they help you age stronger or faster. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 most common walnut mistakes older adults in America make, and more importantly, how to fix each one so you can unlock the real benefits for your heart, brain, and longevity. And trust me, if you think you already know everything about walnuts, at least one of these 5 will absolutely surprise you. Before we dive in, I'd love to ask you something. How old are you, and do you think this video might help you? Share your answer down in the comments. We read every message and try to respond personally. Thank you for stopping by Senior Health Tips, Healthy Aging. Let's get started. Number 5. Eating too many walnuts every day. You've probably heard the saying, too much of a good thing is still too much. And when it comes to walnuts, that couldn't be more true. Most of us think, well, if a handful is healthy, then 2 or 3 must be even better. But here's the catch. Walnuts are incredibly calorie-dense. Just 1 ounce, about 7 to 9 whole nuts, is the sweet spot. That's all your body actually needs to get the benefits for your heart, your brain, and your cholesterol levels. The problem is, many older adults treat them like a guilt-free snack. A few while watching TV, a few more after lunch. Before you know it, you've eaten 20 or even 30 in a single day. And what happens next? The same thing that happens when we overdo any healthy food. Bloating, unwanted weight gain, and yes, even higher cholesterol. Here's a simple truth. Walnuts are about 65% fat. Now it's the good kind of fat, omega-3 and omega-6. But your body doesn't really care about the label. When you eat more fat than you burn, it still gets stored as energy. And that energy usually settles right around your waistline. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that just 30 grams of walnuts a day, roughly a small handful, already gives you the maximum heart protective benefits. Eating more than that doesn't make your arteries cleaner or your brain sharper. It just makes your calorie count climb. Let me share a quick story. A 63-year-old woman from California wrote to our channel a while ago. She told us she'd switched from chips and cookies to walnuts because she wanted a healthier snack. She was eating them every day, sometimes right out of the jar. After a month, she was shocked to find she'd gained 4 pounds, even though she hadn't changed anything else in her diet. She thought she was doing the right thing, and in a way she was. But she simply overdid it. There's also a little-known fact most people never hear about. Omega-3s only work their best when your omega-6 intake stays balanced. The ideal ratio is around 4:1. But walnuts have both, and if your overall diet already includes lots of vegetable oils, fried foods, or processed snacks, that balance quickly tips out of range. And when that happens, instead of reducing inflammation, those good fats can actually add to it. So, moderation isn't just a suggestion. It's the secret. One small handful a day gives you all the brain-boosting and heart-protecting power you need. More than that? It's like taking double the medicine, hoping it'll work faster, but ending up with a headache instead. And even if you're eating just the right amount, there's another hidden mistake that could ruin everything, one that might be happening right now in your kitchen cabinet. Number 4. Storing walnuts the wrong way. When healthy, turns harmful. You might not realize it, but those innocent-looking walnuts sitting in your kitchen could be quietly turning into what I like to call inflammation bombs. That's right. Just a few weeks of improper storage can transform a superfood into something that silently works against your health instead of for it. Here's what really happens. When walnuts are kept at room temperature, especially in warm or sunny spots, their delicate oils start to break down. Those healthy fats, the ones that protect your heart and sharpen your brain, are extremely sensitive to heat, air, and light. And when they're exposed too long, the fats become oxidized, turning into harmful free radicals. Think of it like this. It's the same process that makes cooking oil smell off after sitting out too long. That sour, bitter, almost paint-like scent, that's oxidation. And when you eat rancid walnuts, even if you can't quite taste it, your body definitely knows. Oxidized oil doesn't just lose its nutrients, it creates inflammation. Over time, this can lead to liver stress, fatigue, brain fog, and even accelerate the aging of your cells. So instead of helping your heart, old walnuts could be adding more work for it. According to a USDA study, nearly 40% of walnut samples on U.S. store shelves showed mild oxidation after just 3 months of storage at 77 degrees Celsius, 25 degrees CY. That's room temperature for most homes. And remember, mild oxidation doesn't mean safe. It just means you might not taste the damage yet. So how do you keep your walnuts fresh, flavorful, and full of those good omega fats? Experts use what I call the 3B rule. Bag, box, below 10 degrees CC. First, keep them sealed tightly in a bag, airtight if possible. Second, place that bag inside a sturdy container or box to block out light. And third, always store them below 50 degrees, 10 degrees, ideally in your fridge or freezer. This simple habit can double or even triple the shelf life of your walnuts, keeping the oils stable and the flavor nutty and rich. Here's a quick tip. If you buy walnuts in bulk, separate them into smaller portions before refrigerating or freezing. That way, you're only opening what you need each week and not exposing the whole batch to air every time you snack. And yes, if your walnuts ever smell sour, musty, or like old cooking oil, toss them. Don't risk it. Rancid fats don't just taste bad. They trigger inflammation that your body has to fight off for days afterward. So remember, where you store your walnuts matters just as much as how many you eat. Treat them like fresh produce, not pantry snacks. Keep them cool, dark, and sealed tight. Because a simple mistake in storage could quietly undo all the heart and brain benefits you've been counting on. And speaking of mistakes, even if you're storing them perfectly, there's another hidden problem that can keep your body from absorbing the minerals it needs. It all comes down to what you eat your walnuts with. And most people never get this part right. Number 3. Combining walnuts with high oxalate foods. You know that green smoothie that looks so healthy? The one packed with spinach, beet, and maybe a sprinkle of walnuts on top? Well, here's something most people don't realize. That healthy combo could quietly be setting you up for kidney trouble down the road. See, certain vegetables, like spinach, beets, and sweet potatoes, are loaded with compounds called oxalates. They're natural, but when oxalates meet the calcium found in foods like walnuts, they can bind together and form crystals inside your body. And over time, those tiny crystals can grow into something much worse: kidney stones. Now, for someone with perfectly strong kidneys, a little oxalate isn't the end of the world. But for older adults, especially those over 60, kidney function naturally slows down. That means your body doesn't clear oxalates as easily. So what started as a superfood breakfast could slowly turn into a daily stress test for your kidneys. And it's not just about kidney stones. When oxalates bind with calcium and fat, your body also loses access to magnesium, a mineral that's essential for your muscles, heart, and nerves. In fact, a Mayo Clinic study found that pairing high oxalate vegetables with fatty foods like walnuts can reduce magnesium absorption by up to 20%. That's a big deal, because magnesium is what keeps your energy steady, your sleep deeper, and your heart rhythm smooth. Let me give you a real example. One of our subscribers, a 70-year-old man from Florida, had a morning ritual. Every day he blended spinach, beet, banana, and a handful of walnuts into a thick smoothie. He swore by it for energy. But after a few months, he started feeling a dull ache in his lower back. Turns out he had developed calcium oxalate crystals, the most common type of kidney stone. He was shocked. "But I was eating healthy," he said. And he was, just not in the right combination. So what's the fix? You don't have to give up your walnuts or your greens. You just need to separate them. Give your body time to process one before adding the other. Eat your walnuts at least 2 to 3 hours apart from high oxalate meals like spinach salads or beet smoothies. And if you want the perfect pairing, try walnuts with low oxalate fruits, apples, pears, or berries. They add natural sweetness, help balance digestion, and keep your nutrients working with each other instead of against each other. It's a small change, but it makes a big difference, especially for your kidneys and your energy levels. Because sometimes it's not about what you eat, it's about what you eat together. And speaking of timing, you might think eating walnuts before bed helps you sleep better because they contain melatonin. But before you reach for that late-night snack, there's something important you need to hear next. Number 2. Eating walnuts before bed. The common sleep myth. You've probably heard this one before. Walnuts help you sleep because they contain melatonin. And yes, that's true, walnuts do have melatonin. But here's the twist. If you eat them at the wrong time, that very same sleep-friendly snack might actually keep you awake. You see, melatonin doesn't work instantly. It takes about 3 to 4 hours after eating for your body to convert and release it effectively. So if you grab a handful of walnuts right before bed, say around 9 or 10 p.m., you're not getting the calming wave of melatonin. What you're getting is a digestive workout right when your body is trying to wind down. Walnuts are rich in healthy fats and protein, both great during the day, but a little heavy when you're trying to sleep. For older adults, whose digestion tends to slow with age, this can lead to that familiar feeling: heaviness in the stomach, bloating, or even heartburn while lying in bed. And instead of falling asleep peacefully, you're tossing and turning, wondering why your healthy bedtime snack backfired. A study published in the Sleep Health Journal found that eating high-fat foods like nuts after 8 p.m. can reduce deep sleep by up to 25%. That's the kind of restorative sleep your body relies on for memory, recovery, and hormone balance. So even if you do fall asleep, the quality of your rest may suffer, leaving you groggy and tired the next day. So what's the right way to enjoy walnuts for better sleep and energy? Timing is everything. Instead of eating them at night, try having your walnuts in the afternoon, around 2 to 4 p.m. That's when your body's metabolism is still active, and the slow-release energy from walnuts can help you stay alert through the rest of the day. By the time evening rolls around, your digestion is already done, and the natural melatonin your body produces can do its job, uninterrupted. Here's an easy, energizing recipe I love recommending. I call it the afternoon energy mix. Combine a small handful of walnuts with sliced apple, a spoonful of rolled oats, and a drizzle of honey. The apple adds fiber and vitamin C, which helps your body absorb nutrients more efficiently. The oats stabilize blood sugar, and the honey gives just enough sweetness to satisfy that mid-afternoon craving. It's light, balanced, and it won't weigh you down. And here's a little reminder for all my friends who like a late-night snack. Your digestive system needs rest too, just like your brain and your heart. Eating too close to bedtime keeps your gut busy when it should be resting and repairing. Give it a few hours of peace before you sleep, and you'll wake up feeling lighter, clearer, and more refreshed. So yes, walnuts can help your sleep. Just not right before you close your eyes. Let your body work with its natural rhythm, and you'll feel the difference within a few nights. And now, we've reached the last, and possibly most dangerous, mistake people make with walnuts. Because this next one isn't about when you eat them, but which walnuts you're actually eating. Number 1. Salted oil-roasted walnuts, the sweet enemy of healthy eating. If your walnuts smell too good, crunch too perfectly, and taste just a little too salty, chances are they're not the superfood you think they are. Because here's the truth. Once walnuts are roasted in industrial oils and coated in salt, they stop being a health food and start acting like tiny inflammation bombs. Let's break it down. Most commercial roasted walnuts aren't toasted in your cozy home oven. They're processed in massive factories using cheap oils like canola or soybean oil, oils that can't handle high heat well. When they're heated past their smoke point, their molecular structure breaks apart and starts to oxidize. That oxidation is what produces those irresistible aromas, but it also produces free radicals, the same unstable compounds linked to inflammation, artery damage, and even memory decline. Then comes the salt. A little sodium? Fine. But these snack-style nuts are often loaded with 300 to 500 milligrams of sodium per serving, more than what's in a small bag of chips. Over time, that much salt doesn't just raise your blood pressure. It also disrupts the natural fluid balance inside your cells, making you feel bloated, fatigued, and foggy. And there's another hidden layer most people never think about. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Lipid Research found that 60–70% of omega-3 fatty acids, the very reason people eat walnuts in the first place, are destroyed when heated above 150 degrees, about 300 degrees. So by the time your crunchy golden brown walnuts hit the shelf, most of those brain-boosting fats are already gone. But wait, it gets even trickier. Food companies know consumers love that fresh, nutty aroma, so when the real oils break down, they add synthetic walnut flavoring to bring the smell back. That's right. Some of the walnuts you're eating may not even smell like walnuts anymore. They smell like a lab's idea of walnuts. So what should you do instead? Keep it simple. Go for raw or dry roasted walnuts. No added oils, no salt, no fake flavorings. Check the label for phrases like dry roasted or no added oil salt. Those are your green lights. If you like a little toastiness, do it yourself. It only takes 5 minutes. Spread your raw walnuts on a baking sheet, pop them in the oven at 250 degrees, 120 degrees C, and roast until they release a gentle, natural aroma. That's when you know they're ready. Crisp, but not burnt. You'll preserve the omega-3s, skip the sodium overload, and keep your body's inflammation in check. And if you want to get a little creative, sprinkle them with a touch of cinnamon or smoked paprika for flavor, not salt. You'll be surprised how satisfying they can be without the extra sodium hit. Remember, when it comes to walnuts, the more natural they taste, the better they are for your brain, your heart, and your long-term energy. Because the sad truth is, many of the healthy nut snacks on store shelves today have been stripped of the very nutrients that made them special in the first place. You've now seen 5 of the biggest mistakes people make with walnuts. But there are still 2 rarely discussed habits that quietly decide whether you actually get all those amazing walnut benefits, or lose them without even realizing it. You know, the way you eat your walnuts can make all the difference between just snacking and actually nourishing your brain and heart. See, walnuts are loaded with ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid, and polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that protect your cells from damage. When these 2 work together, it's like giving your neurons, those tiny brain messengers, a protective armor. ALA helps keep the cell membrane soft and flexible, so signals move faster. Meanwhile, polyphenols reduce inflammation in the brain, almost like clearing away mental fog. That's why people who include walnuts in their daily routine often say they feel sharper, calmer, and more focused. It's not a placebo. It's biology. One study found that adults who ate just 30 grams of walnuts a day, that's about a small handful, had a 13% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. And that's not some extreme, hard-to-follow diet. It's simply adding a smart handful to your morning. Try this: a simple brain-boosting breakfast bowl. 1 ounce of walnuts, half an avocado, a scoop of oats, and almond milk. Blend it or mix it cold. You'll get healthy fats, fiber, and the slow energy your brain loves. It keeps blood sugar steady and helps your heart work more efficiently throughout the day. There's even a story that still makes me smile. A 72-year-old man from Ohio who started adding that mix to his mornings. He said after 3 months he could remember names faster, and his wife noticed he stopped losing his keys all the time. Small change, big difference. That's the quiet power of eating right. Not a miracle pill, just real food working in harmony with your body and your years of wisdom. When it comes to walnuts, freshness isn't just about taste. It's about getting the nutrients your brain and heart actually need. A stale walnut can lose most of its healthy oils and even turn slightly toxic. So let's make sure the ones you're buying are truly worth it. Here's the secret. Fresh walnuts always tell you their story. You just need to know how to listen. Start with the color. Good ones have a warm golden shade, not dull or dark brown. Then, take a sniff. If you catch even a hint of paint, cardboard, or something off, that's oxidation. The oils have gone bad. Fresh walnuts should smell clean and slightly nutty, like autumn leaves in sunlight. And texture matters too. When you bite into a quality walnut, it should feel crisp and buttery. Not soft, not waxy. If it leaves a bitter aftertaste, it's past its prime. Now, here's a professional tip. Look for "Made in California" on the label, especially with a USDA or California Walnut Commission seal. Those farms are held to some of the highest standards in the world, from soil care to cold storage. So what you get is richer in omega-3s and flavor. And if you want a simple way to remember it all, use the 3S rule: smell, shade, shell. Smell, fresh, nutty, never rancid. Shade, light golden, not dark. Shell. If you buy them whole, look for shells that are clean, uncracked, and slightly rough. Nature's seal of freshness. Think of it like choosing good wine. The better the source, the better it nourishes you. Once you know how to spot quality, every handful of walnuts becomes a small act of self-care, not just another snack. So let's take a step back and recap what we've learned today. There are 5 common mistakes most people make with walnuts: eating too many, storing them the wrong way, mixing them with the wrong foods, eating them at the wrong time, and choosing the wrong kind of nuts altogether. Simple things, right? Yet they make all the difference between helping your heart and hurting it. Here's the truth. It's not just about what you eat, but how you eat it. That one small shift in mindset can completely change your energy, your sleep, and even the way your brain ages. So the next time you reach for a handful of walnuts, do it with intention. Treat it like a daily ritual of care, not just a snack. And if this video helped you understand a little more about how to protect your heart, your brain, and your body after 50, I'd love for you to subscribe and share it with someone you care about. You never know whose health you might be improving just by sending this along. In the next video, we'll talk about another nut that's just as loved, almonds, and why they can help you lose weight but secretly harm your joints if you're not careful. Remember this: age may slow the body, but the right knowledge keeps you strong, clear-minded, and full of life. Because staying healthy after 50 isn't just about living longer, it's about living better every single day.